Hi, I'm Linda Avey, the co-founder of 23andme, and I'm here to give some information for Informilo.
Thanks, Linda, for joining us here today in Davos. Last year, you were here in a white lab coat, collecting spit from the world's elite. Can you tell us what information that you've been able to harvest kind of collectively from all of that saliva?
Yeah, it was a lot of saliva, that's for sure. And it was interesting to be able to meet with a lot of people from all over the world because we haven't launched all over the world. So we were able to collect saliva from people we wouldn't normally be able to send a kit to. So that was very interesting. And I don't know that we have enough representation from these other parts of the world like China and India to really give us any statistical insight into their genetics. But it was a really great start to start looking at people from all over the globe. And certainly here at Davos, it's such a nice cross-section of the world, and I do think we're really now on the cusp of learning more about a lot of different populations, a lot of different ethnic groups, and it was a really great way to establish our foot in the ground on a more global effort.
Okay, great. So can you tell us a little bit about your international expansion? Where are you now and where are you going to go next?
So now we are in, of course, North America, including Canada. We're not in Mexico yet. We're in Europe, and then we recently launched also in Australia, New Zealand, and Israel.
Okay.
So we haven't really announced or done any big marketing programs in those new countries yet, but we plan to start getting the word out because we're very excited, particularly in Israel. There's just huge opportunity, we think, to work with people there and hopefully can help connect people with family members that they might have lost track of, and using genetics to help find distant cousins or people that that you've lost track of, we think could be a very valuable service.
Are you finding a difference in the interest and concerns of people in different countries around the world?
We are. It's fairly subtle, but we do hear, especially that the questions we get from the media from different countries tend to go in one direction or the other. And certainly in Germany, there's a lot of concern about privacy, and in the UK, is this dangerous? It's really a reflection, I think, of how the tendency of the press in those countries and what they tend to focus on. So we are seeing that, definitely.
Okay. Can you tell us how you see what you're doing fitting into this general trend of personalized medicine, and give us a timeline on when we can really expect personalized medicine to become a reality?
We sort of look at it the same way you look at cancer. Cancer isn't one disease, it's many, many, many diseases, and the whole notion of personalized medicine, each drug will have to have its own profile done to know which people will do well on that drug versus other drugs. So it's really a one by one, it's a very stepwise process. There might be classes of drugs that if we test one drug, we'll know how that drug or how that family of drugs would do in people. So it's really hard to predict how long it's going to take, and we feel it's more about if we can get huge numbers of people that are in one database together, and hopefully that's 23andme, that we'll be able to more quickly, and I think we'll see an exponential growth in the amount of information that we're collecting, and that will inform this whole notion of personalized medicine, but it's very complicated.
Are you starting to work on certain diseases or afflictions, like, say, autism?
Yeah, the first disease that we really have put a stake in the ground is with Parkinson's, and we have a project already funded by the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and we're working with the Parkinson's Institute in Sunnyvale, California. So that's the first disease that we've announced, but we have a lot of things that are growing organically within 23andme, where we're finding communities of people who are just signing up, and then they're getting the word out in their communities, and a lot of times we're not even aware of that organic growth going on until they notify us and say, okay, we're here, we've got X number of people that all have the same disease in 23andme, and we love that when people use us as a platform, and we're here for people to take advantage of that, and they can do their own movement and get the word out within their own communities.
How do you see personalized medicine impacting the cost of healthcare?
So I think it won't be immediate, but what our hope is that as people get more information about what diseases they might have in the future, there could be preventive steps that they take. And it's going to be a hard thing to measure, but we do hope to see that healthcare costs overall as a trend will start to drop as people understand, especially for diseases like type 2 diabetes, that there are things you can do, and if people get their information about an increased genetic risk, that they will take action and they will do something about it. But this is a field that is going to have to take personal ownership too. We have to take ownership of our own health as consumers, and we're going to be empowered to do that.
Great. Thank you so much, Linda.
Thank you, Jennifer.